Welcome to the Author Boss Book Festival. I am your host and creator, Nadia Francois. I began this journey of promoting authors, putting people's books out about 3-4 years ago when the pandemic began. We all had to find a way to pivot and shift in our business and to promote our business and bring visibility. And so I came up with this book festival, the Author Boss Book Festival. It's virtual, of course, over the past years. And it has been a great success for all authors that have been, a part of it. And so why not keep it going and bring it into our post-pandemic atmosphere? We started off with our in-person book signing and author meetup, and it was amazing, an amazing occasion. You will get to see a few clips from that event throughout the virtual portion, but I want to go ahead and tell you the purpose of the Author Boss Book Festival. So the purpose of this festival is to promote the benefits of reading and literacy, boost awareness of minority authors and writers, provide professional development to authors and publishers, and enhance your book marketing skills. And so those are all things that we need to propel as authors in this digital world, in the in-person world, whether it's ebooks, paperbacks, hardbacks, audiobooks, wherever you're coming from with your publications, this festival should be able to boost your awareness and your literacy. So we have an amazing lineup for our professional development, and I'll share with you some of the ladies that are presenting. We have Miss Tonya Askins. Her presentation is titled Be Creative, Sow and Grow. We have Attorney Southern Bell with Be Set Apart, Authorship and Intellectual Property. We have Geronda Marks, The Secret to Real Success, Adding Value to Others. We have a podcaster on the line, Miss Keke Chanel, Podcasting, the New Wave of Open Dialogue. And we have Dr. Enola Pillard with Essential Strategies for Upcoming Authors. And myself, I will be presenting on book marketing basics. So no matter where you are in your author career, some of these presentations will help you propel and excel in your authorship. There's one thing I want you to always remember. Your authorship is a business all on its own, and it deserves the attention that a business needs to thrive. So make sure that you take the information that we are providing here in the Author Boss Book Festival and utilize it to your best ability. Remember that if we don't utilize the information, then what do we need it for, right? So make sure that you take it in, take notes, and go back and follow through. Be blessed and enjoy the Author Boss Book Festival.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Podcasting, the New Wave of Open Dialogue. I am your host, Keke Chanel. I am an award-winning author, lifestyle blogger, host of Kicking It with Keke podcast, and soon-to-be magazine owner. So let's get started. Podcasting, the New Wave of Open Dialogue. Again, presented to you by myself, Keke Chanel, author, podcast host, and certified life coach. Before we get started, I'll just share a little bit about myself. I am an award-winning author, certified life coach, and host of Kicking It with Keke podcast, Life, Love, and All That Other Shit. I am a proud owner and CEO of Push Life Coaching LLC, as well as Keke Chanel LLC. Keke Chanel LLC, we help authors bring their ideas from paper to publication. And at Push Life Coaching, we help individuals unpack their mental baggage so that we can change their mindset by practicing and promoting positive personal growth and development. I love to read. I love watching horror movies. I also love spending time with the people I love to recharge myself, because we all need that. I am launching Kicking It with Keke. It's not called Kicking It with Keke, but it is a magazine that's coming up. And if you live in Louisiana, you need to be at the magazine launch. It is January 6th, 2024. DM me or email me for more information, and I will get that to you guys, because I would love to have you there to celebrate this milestone with me. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my podcast. I started my podcast in July of 2020. It wasn't the traditional podcast. It was live on IG every Monday night at 8:00. After COVID hit, we were all trying to figure out what we were going to do, try to make sure that we stayed sane. So I decided to go ahead and launch Kicking It with Keke, have guests come on, and we just talk and have a nice time and interact with each other from all walks of life, from all over the world. And it kind of took off. So January the 5th of 2022, I decided to go and start Kicking It with Keke podcast the traditional way, where I would broadcast on all major streaming platforms as well as YouTube. It has received over 3,500 downloads. We are now on ID 104 radio out of Atlanta, Georgia, in syndication on Wednesdays at 7:00 Central Standard Time, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Since then, I have been nominated for Speak Up Sis Podcaster of the Year Award in February of 2023. And I recently recorded episode 100 of Kicking It with Keke podcast, which will air November 2nd of this year. So make sure you guys tap into that. Go ahead and follow and subscribe on YouTube. It's Kicking It with Keke without the G, as you can see. And that's a little bit about me. So let's go ahead and talk about why podcasting is the new wave of dialogue. And I'll give you some statistics first before we move in it. There are over 5 million podcasts, guys. 5 million. And according to Google, 70 million episodes have aired between all of them. Like, there have been 70 million episodes of podcasts as of 2023. That is insane. I've heard about podcasts, but it wasn't until I got into podcasting myself that I started to pay attention to the numbers, the research. And I'm not a numbers person, so I really don't pay attention to numbers. But to know that there are over 5 million podcasts out there, and I am one of those, and I am working and doing it, and my podcast has only been out for a year now, and I am grateful for the engagement, the followers, the feedback, all of my guests who have been on there. So it is becoming the new wave of open dialogue because it gives people a voice. And these are some of the segments that I have within my podcast. I have Mind Your Business, which owner of Panther Eat Graphic, V, shout out to V. I have Coach's Corner with Coach Kim, and I have Let's Talk Podcast with a fellow podcaster, host of Real Talk with Tim podcast, Tim Shaw. Almost 2/3 of the United States, ages 12 and over, listen to podcasts. Since 2020, podcast listeners has increased. Why? Because people can gain information faster than reading a book, and the content is engaging. People want to hear about topics they deem interesting. Time is too valuable for wasting it on anything that you don't find valuable. So podcasting has increased by 1%, which is now 38%. People listen to podcasts more than reading books, unless it's an audio book. That has been very, very popular now because it's fast, it's on the go. People can listen to it as they're moving around because life didn't stop. We still have to pay bills and things like that. So travel has gone up. So has podcast listeners as well as audiobooks. And the most liked podcasts are comedy, news, and culture. I was shocked when I found that out. I thought relationships or lifestyle would be in the top three, but comedy, like people like to laugh. This world is too sucky at times. We need a good laugh, and it's good for the soul. So the top three like podcast genres, according to research performed as of February of 2023, is comedy, news, culture, with relationships coming in at number 4. And why is podcasting so essential nowadays? Because it provides communication and it gives a voice to people. Podcasting gives a voice to the masses. This type of media has led to a diverse range of topics and perspectives being explored in the podcasting world. It provides a platform for diverse voices to be heard and for meaningful conversations to take place. We all have something to say. Most of the time, we feel like we're not being heard because we're saying it to the wrong people. By starting a podcast, you have free range over what you say, who you have on your podcast, and who you distribute to. For me, I wasn't a big talker growing up, but I was always pushed in the leadership role. So I was forced to talk. And I'm glad that the people in my life saw something in me, because it was just preparing me for where I am right now. So shout out to Miss Brenda Hurst. Shout out to Miss Emma Williams. Shout out to the Turner Chapel AME church in Greensburg, Louisiana, because those people poured into little Keke from Greensburg and saw greatness in her and helped me believe in myself, gave me the confidence to stand in front of crowds and speak openly, unapologetically, and boldly about the things that I'm passionate about. I didn't know it then, but I'm glad that I know it now. So I am so privileged to have had that experience from those people that poured into me. Shout out to my parents too, because they said I was a weird kid and I stayed under the bed, but being weird and unique, that was me. I know that God set me apart and I'm different and I'm not supposed to fit in. And I'm glad, because I know that I'm not for everybody and everybody is not for me. I use my voice to shed light, love, encouragement, empowerment. And that's who I am. That's always who I will be. You can kind of see like some of the anesthetics of season 2 to season 5. You always want to grow and elevate. The shining through adversity piece with Karma's Paradise. Shout out to Keke. She is phenomenal. Y'all make sure y'all go and check her out on social media platforms. She was talking about a subject that is becoming more and more common, getting hacked. All of her IG and Facebook pages were hacked, and she lost all of her content, followers, and things like that. But it didn't deter her. She used her voice to shed light on it, to bring information by sharing her story on my platform. And she actually saved a lot of other people that was receiving some of the same messages that she received from clicking on those messages or downloading the WhatsApp and getting their pages hacked too. So podcasting, it's all about communication. It's valuable information. And it's all about how you set your intentions too. Because if you are all about gossip and mess and backbiting and things like that, it's going to reflect in your podcast. It's going to reflect in your lifestyle and everything that you do. So make sure that you understand that podcasting, you may not get the numbers, but someone is always watching. Remember that. And for this past episode with Lydia C. Rivera, she was talking about confidence through adversity. Y'all, I just realized that was not intentional. I pulled these two without even thinking about the topics that's on both of them. Okay, God, I see alignment happening. But she was just shedding her light on being an advocate for vitiligo because she was born with that. She told how she covered herself up with makeup. And now she writes children's books, and her children's book just debuted as one of the top books upon release. And it is talking about, I absolutely positively love my spots. So y'all make sure y'all go and support her as well. Her book can be found on all platforms as well as Amazon, on her platform, literacyrivera.com. Yeah, so these are two people that the podcast episodes stood out to me because they were so valuable and filled with information and confidence, as well as compassion and empathy for other people to share their stories to help shed some light on these things with everybody that tune in. So podcasting, it provides that communication and voice. It also provides creativity. It allows anyone with an internet connection to create and share their own audio content. As the podcasting industry continues to grow, we can expect to see more innovative and thought-provoking content being produced. It gives an outlet to anyone who wants to use their personality and creativity to bring something fresh and new to the world of digital content. Use creativity to ensure and increase engagement with your audience. You have to use your creativity. You don't want to look like everybody else. You want to make sure that your listeners or potential listeners can say, you might create a graphic and post it on your social media. And people's like, okay, this is different. Let me go and check and see what she's all about or he's all about. So make sure when you're thinking about starting your podcast, and everybody should, let me just go ahead and put it out there. Go ahead and join the 5 million, right? Start your podcast with great intentions. Do it and be serious about it. Understand why you want to do it, and make sure you have a powerful message that each episode conveys, whether you're by yourself or you have guests, or are you playing different clips and talking about different things that you've seen on social media just to get the conversation started. Because Kicking It with Keke, Life, Love, and all that other shit, we talk about mindset and personal development. That is the overall theme for my podcast. So I want people to leave better than they came. I want to make sure that your mindset is shifted. You understand the importance of minding your thoughts. You understand that not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows, and it's okay. And not every day is going to be a bad day. You will have some sunshine and rainbows, and it's okay too. Understand that everything has a purpose. And as long as you're aligned to your purpose, you will feel it in your soul, and you will also know that it's bigger than yourself. It helps motivate and empower other people along the journey. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about starting your podcast. All right. Podcasting also provides accessibility. Anyone can create a podcast using basic equipment and software and then distribute it to a worldwide audience through platforms like iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud. This has opened up opportunities for people from all walks of life to share their stories, expertise, and opinions. So finding a podcast host is one of the things that you have to do research on, because you want to make sure that you are uploading your content to a hosting site that will distribute your podcast from platform to platform. My podcast is through Spreaker.com, and they have mass distribution. So I am able to share my content on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all of them. My podcast is pretty much on all of the platforms that you can stream the content on, as well as my YouTube channel. So keep that in mind when you are getting a hosting site for your podcast. It also creates a sense of community among the listeners and the creators. Many podcasters have built loyal followings who engage with them on social media through email. This has led to a more intimate and interactive form of media where listeners can provide feedback and participate in discussions with their favorite podcasters. Don't be so quick to want all of the numbers so quickly, because you can get spammed. It's a lot of bots out there. Your content can get stolen or hacked. So be careful when you're starting out and worrying about the numbers. It may be slow, but you will get there and the right audience will come to you. So let's move on. And understand your why, y'all. Understand your why. Since starting my podcast, I have become more confident, free, inspired, and excited to see where this journey takes me. I look forward to meeting and connecting with amazing people. I love engaging in stimulating conversation, and I cannot see my life without podcasting being a part of it. My why for podcasting is to change the narrative in our culture, our community, and our consciousness with open dialogue that we eventually become our new normal. That is a clip from me sharing one of my episodes. Y'all see I have a virtual background. I also help people create virtual backgrounds through my podcast and content creation course. I also have podcast prep, which helps you with all of the basics that you need to start your podcast. And I also have a 2-day intensive called Podcast Like a Pro, where I teach you how to conduct interviews, teach you how to create content, teach you everything that you need to know to be successful before you release your podcast. If you want to know more information about that, you can visit thekekechanel.com, or you can also email me and I'll have the information in the show notes. Things to remember. If you are considering starting a podcast, here are 3 important elements to consider. Be consistent. If you are releasing a new episode every Friday at noon, make sure you show up every Friday at noon. If you're not going to be there, make sure you let your audience know so they won't come looking and you're not there. That causes people to lose interest really fast. Number 2, be knowledgeable. Research. If you're talking about a certain topic, people fact check, and you should do too, because they will come for you if you don't know what you're talking about. So make sure you are knowledgeable about the content that you are sharing. And number 3, be you. Nobody else can be you. Be you unapologetically, and just let your energy attract the crowd that you are supposed to attract. And everything else will fall into place. If you consider those 3 things when you get ready to start your podcast, you will be phenomenal. And I already know that. And I would like to say thank you so much for allowing me to present my podcast in the new wave of open dialogue content for you guys. If you would like to know more about my podcast workshops, you can send an email to kickingitwithkiki@gmail.com, or you can visit www.thekekechanel.com. I have had an amazing time with you guys today. I hope to hear from you soon. You make sure that you always be you, be great, and do it, man. Just do it. If you're wanting to be a podcaster and it is speaking to your soul, then you are doing yourself a disservice by not fulfilling that dream of becoming that podcaster. It's room for all of us, guys. So make sure that you tap into your gifts. They will make room for you. Remember that. Remember who you are and whose you are. The sky's not the limit, because we have footprints on the moon and there are galaxies among us. So go ahead and get your wings and soar. You can't do nothing but fly. Go ahead and fly. Again, thank you.
With LaDonna Marie Books has traveled. Did you travel from Mississippi today? Travel from Mississippi to be here with us today, y'all. So welcome her.
Thank you so much, Nadia. It's an honor to be here with all of you all today. I am LaDonna Marie, an international multi-award winning author. I'm a CEO of my nonprofit, Planting Positive Seeds. I also have a podcast which is called Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. But all of this is done by the grace of God. I'm a 26 year survivor of attempted suicide. At the age of 14, I felt like my life, I didn't want to go on. I felt like no one understood me. No one understood who God was creating me to be, because here I am, a young girl who's listening to the Holy Spirit, who's listening to Him pour into me and tell me that He wants me to empower. He wants me to impact. He wants me to uplift. And I'm saying, God, how am I going to do all of this? And nobody wants to hear me. When I tell them what you told me, they said, no, you're not talking to Him. No, you can't hear that. But He had to keep me moving. And so after I did attempt suicide, and I thank God that He saved my life, because my life shifted because I saw who He had created me to be. He gave me a glimpse of everything that I do now, going around the world, winning books and titles. But the most of it all, it was because I had to create an impact. because I never wanted anyone to go through what I had gone through. I never wanted anyone to feel like I felt. So sitting in my room, it was only me and my pen and my pad and just listening to what God says. And so today I represent LaDonna Marie Books. Every book that I've written, I have 13 of my own. I have over 15 that I've co-authored with other people. And all of them are helping others to overcome obstacles, whether it's in your personal health, whether it's in mindset, whether it's in relationships, family, just encouraging you to continue to try. The slogan for LaDonna Marie Books is Discover the Champion in You. We all were created with a purpose. We all were created with some gift, talents, and abilities that are on the inside of us. They don't look like other people because you were fearfully and wonderfully made. And so that's what God showed me. So as I continue to go around the world, as I continue to write these books, each one of them gives you and the people out there who purchase a look into your own life. Because as God was having me to write, I want you to have your own aha moment. Because I'm not standing where you are, but I have some moments and some things in these books that will help you to understand right where you are, and you can grow from there. One of my latest books is called Unlocking Greatness, the Gratitude Journal. And so I wrote this book because most of the things that I do it first. And so for a whole year, I started to just thank God for everything, for waking me up, for things that I'd be able to do with my two boys, being able to travel internationally safe and come back, just different things. But as I began to thank Him, the miracle signs and wonders begin to come, because as I continue to let the praises go up, the blessings began to come down. And so in this book, I have different prompts that you can write about things that go on in your life, how He can make it, can help you to just have more gratitude about things that you're going through. And so it's amazing. And one of my other books that I wrote was my memoir. And this is called The Journey to Path, The Way I See It. And so I wanted to share most of my life that God had allowed me to see behind the scenes, not just what was happening to me, but the reason why the process was necessary. Because if I didn't go through the things that I've gone through, I couldn't stand before you today with as much God confidence as I have, because I know whose I am and who is my Father. And so each of these, but it talks about those moments when I was low. It talks about those moments when my car got repossessed. It talks about those moments when I lost my job. It talks about those moments when I had to learn how to stand strong and lift my head to the hills from which cometh my help, and knowing that all of my help comes from the Lord. And it also tells about when I had to pray and He showed me a way of escape. He showed me a way out. So I didn't spend my time murmuring over where I was, but I was looking for where I was going. And so the path was the path that God had shown me. So each one of those books back there, I have children's book. I started off in poetry. I started writing short verses that will get you to just grab onto that story, and you'll want to finish the book in one sitting, I promise you. But those books, and I have workbooks also. I am also a pastor, so I do have spiritual devotionals back there as well, and some workbooks. I love helping people to overcome obstacles. There are steps that you can take that will help you to open up your mind and then see what you need to do to go forward. And so I'm LaDonna Marie. I'm not going to hold you long. I just want you to discover the champion on the inside of you, one day at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And so you all be blessed.
Hello, my name is Monique Robinson, and I am a children's author. I also wear a lot of other many hats, but today I am going to talk about my books. Now, how the idea of writing came about, it was actually my nephews, Junior and Mark, have motivated me to want to write. I love literacy. I've been an educator for 23 years, and reading is very important to me. And when they told me they didn't like to read, who says that? So
when my nephews told me they didn't like to read, what I did as their aunt is I created children's books that has African American boys doing some unique, amazing things, and it has like a little twist in some of them because they also inspire historical facts in one. Now, recently, I am in the works of making another children's book that deals with Kwanzaa. So that one will be out during the holidays. So please, please, please check that one out, or follow me and see when that one will get released. But right now, I have this book here. It actually is all three of my books in one. So it has my first book, ABC Black History, where it goes through the alphabet of all the African American inventions. And then I have my second book, a unique adventurous story about the magical cheese. And then my most recent one, which is every day, it's Black History. You know, Black History can be something in history has happened every day. And all three of my books, just really, really love them. The pictures make you feel like you are in the adventure. But as a teacher, to see scholars light up when they see things that represent them inside the book is also wonderful. Now, you can purchase my children's book on Amazon, or you can inbox me and I can probably give you a cheaper rate than Amazon. But they are on Amazon, they are on Lulu, they are on Barnes and Noble. But most important, when you read my book, you will see pictures that, I don't know if you can really see it, pictures where the characters actually and resemble, look and resemble us. It represents us. I'm really excited about my upcoming book because growing up in my family, we actually celebrated both. My family celebrated Kwanzaa and we also celebrate Christmas. So this book that's coming out is going to tell that story. And I can't give you all the details of the story yet because I'm so excited that we are venturing out and actually doing a holiday one this year. But I love, love, love to see our young people read. And I love it more importantly when they read and they see them reflecting in the pages. So my name is Monique Robinson. I have been an author for, I want to say, 6 years as a published author. Used to write all the time when I was in school, according to my mom. She'd tell me I used to have notebooks of just poems and things like that. So I wish I could find it because then I could probably share it with you guys. But I really, really, really do love the fact that there are a lot of African American authors who are doing some amazing things, that are reaching out, that are touching the lives of youngsters. I also would like to collaborate. I am a collaborating author, and I can't do anything but thank the Filmpreneur Project for pushing me in that aspect of my life to where I'm able to write down things that I may have experienced and I'm able to also talk about it. But like I said, today I'm strictly here for the children's books, but I just wanted to inform you that, hey, get on Amazon, get on Lulu. This one is actually on for purchase on Lulu, but if you do not want to pay those extra fees and things, you can actually get it through me. Send me your info and I can send you an invoice and you can get all three books in one book for the price of one. So pretty amazing. Now, the other thing that I would like to tell you is be on the lookout for our Christmas book. Also, be on the lookout for another journal. I can't say another journal. I'm excited about this journal because it is youth affirmations for young people, because often we do things, but we forget about our young people. So We're going to have several things coming out as the holiday season is approaching. So look out for our Christmas book and also look out for our journal. Now, if you have any questions about the books, about meeting me, you can email me at mrobinson@abcyouthfuturesinc.com, or you can just follow me on Facebook and inbox me. You can follow me on actually any other social media sites and inbox me, and we will greatly assist you with your needs. Thank you. I'm Monique Robinson, and I appreciate you taking the time to learn about my books.
Last but not least,
That's right.
first of all, I can say thank you for this moment, for being in this room with all of these people. My book is titled Found Myself by Myself. But as I look, I think I'm going to name the next book Found Myself in the Presence. So Black Wall Street. I never seen Black Wall Street, heard all about it, right? But being in this room in this moment, I see nothing but powerful people. This will be the Black Wall Street of today for me, right? I had the keys to everything that I needed to go to the next level with my brand, my business are in this room today. So I'm thankful. First of all, I give all those thanks to God for allowing me to make it here today and to be in the presence of all you great people here today. I am Samuel Taylor. I am the author of this book, Found Myself by Myself by Samuel Taylor. It's a journey of a 7-year-old kid that was introduced to tragedy. My father was killed when I was 7 years old. 5 months later, my mother was ran over in a car. And I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. So my journey started there. So I was the first Uber Eats. I would go to the store for everybody in the projects, right? And say, here, I'm going to the store. What you need. So I had to take care of those 5 kids. So that's my journey. My journey is God placed me here to do whatever had to be done to get to the next level of life. This book is self-help. It tells about everything. This book is not for everybody. It's not for kids, right? But it's a journey. They're all parts. It tells about pain, love, hate, journey with sex, self-hate, success. Everything is in my book. I was led to do this book. God just touched me. In 2007, I said I had suppressed my art form. I'm a poet, author. You know, back in the 80s, everybody wanted to be a rapper and stuff like that. So I heard my mom said that she done something to pay the bills. And when I heard her say that, I'm like, nah, you have to do that to pay the bills. I'm not rapping no more. It's going to be whatever it takes to help you take care of whatever it is to be done. At that moment, I realized that I suppressed the rap life, the putting words together. And in 2007, there are 7 people in this room. I look at life numbers, right? 7 people. And in 2007, I said, I'm going to unsuppress it. Mom, I'm letting it go, Mom. I'm going to let it out. And as I did that, all of the words just start pouring out. My book, each chapter just poured out of my, it had been suppressed so long. And to today, I have 3 other books that are coming next after this book. I am thankful for this moment. I'm not going to hold y'all here too long. Again, I'm just honored to have met everyone in this room. And I know when I leave here now, I can tap into all of these great people. I got keys to get to the next level. You all have displayed that, okay, I'm not by myself. I'm in the presence. Thank y'all for having me, Samuel Taylor.
Welcome to the Author Boss Book Festival. I am Dr. Enola Pillard, and today I will be doing a presentation on essential strategies for an upcoming author. I'm so excited to give these strategies to you. It's some keys to unlock some doors for your passion to become an author, no longer on the bookshelf, saying what you would like to do, what you think to do, what you wish to do. You will have some keys put in your hand from watching this presentation that will unlock doors for you to become the next best coming author, best selling author.
Before I get started, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Dr. Enola Pillard. I'm a hairstylist of 29 years. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, also an educator and a trichologist. Most of all, I am excited to share with you about me becoming a best-selling author. I have a variety of books, motivational books, prayer books, affirmation books, children books. And if you stay tuned, there's some upcoming things coming this year. So on today, we will share a little bit about strategies for an upcoming author. Before we get started, I would like to share with you a coaching plan that I have in place. That if you desire a coach, it's strategies you can look forward to get you started, and it will get you to start and to finish. The first one I will share about identifying your gift. There's many that has the potential to become an author. There's many I've heard testimonies of other authors, but there are authors that are compassionate about giving a message, about sharing their story. There's so many different types of books that you can write. You can write nonfiction, fiction, become a novelist, motivational, self-help books, children books, cooking books. There's so many different books that you can write. And you have to identify the gift, which lane you want to be in. Discover your passion, discover your purpose. It will definitely lead you and make it clear. Smooth sailing, no struggle, because it will be something that's already in you, not something that someone told you or you convinced that someone see in you. You'll know in yourself. You have to identify that you are an author. Next, we'll share about creating a plan. What is your plan for your project? Type of project you want to do. Once you get a plan in place, it will be time to execute your plan. You can have steps, not to overwhelm yourself, because there's different steps. There's many authors out there. Some it take just a couple months. Some may take a year, because it's not something you can rush into. Realizing that there's someone that life can be changed, transformed, revived, refreshed, renewed by you taking a step, becoming an author. Some may get a counselor. There's so many needs out there. You never know. You can save a life by you thoroughly sharing your book, sharing your testimony, sharing your message. You can help someone to achieve so many goals by you reaching yours. Next, you will discover a budget. What's your budget? You must do research. One of the important factors is you have to decide, will you become a self-publishing author or will you have a publisher? That's definitely something you need to look into. When you are self-publishing, you have your own right. That means you're ready to put the work in to brand, to market, to discover what will be your book cover, the things you need. All those things come together with becoming a self-publishing author. When you have a publisher, the publisher would do all the work for you. I would definitely advise you to do your research on your pricing, find out about the company, how long they've been a company, hear other reviews from it. It takes time to discover that. But once you discover, if you're going to be a self-publisher or have a publisher, it definitely will put you on the right track. And you're going to figure out your budget. Is that something that is setting a short-term goal, a long-term goal? Is that something that's going to take time? Or are you willing to get another job or save money so that finances definitely won't be a stress on your budget to starting the book and finishing the book? Next, you're going to develop structured writing skills. You definitely want to have your pattern, have your outline. You need to know how many chapters you're going to write. You need to know what will be your acknowledgement. You need to know your writing skills. Again, do your research. Take your time. It's no rush. And even to give you just a small tip, when there's author events, such as book festivals, you definitely want to go. You can do networking and you communicate with other authors, some that have been authors for 4 or 5 years. They can give you tips and give you some guidance. I can tell you that played a big key factor into where I am as an author. Being surrounded by those that love what I love, it definitely helped me. You wouldn't imagine the different doors that open for me networking at events for authors. Next, I will tell you about how to cultivate the 3 C's: confidence, connection, and consistency. You must have confidence. I'll get a little personal, just be open with you. When I first shared with my family and friends that I wanted to become an author, the first response I got, why you want to become an author? Why would you do that? Do you make a lot of money? It was so many questions that definitely would make me question, why should I become an author? But I knew deep in my heart that I had identified the gift in me. I knew how many lives it was going to help. And I'm one, and you may feel the same, not to just talk about problems, but you want to be a part of the solution. So you definitely have to have that confidence. Not looking for others to confirm if this is something you should do. You should confident in knowing this is the season for me to become an author. Dusting that wish off the shelf, not just looking at it from far, bringing it close up so it can come to pass. Next will be about your connection. As I mentioned, connecting with other authors, connecting if you have to read books yourself, whatever you have to do, you want to be connected. Connect yourself. I kept myself connected with things that kept my fire burning, that kept my desire, that stirred up the passion in me. And start to finish, that's what I've done. Many times I'm asked, when did you find the time? That's one of the first questions I'm asked. When did you find the time? How did you get the ideas? That's all come into play when you have identified the gift. Consistency. You definitely have to be consistent. Getting a made up mind. I am about to write this book. I'm about to press the start button and I'm not going to stop until it's completed. You must stay consistent. You must come up with a plan. If it's a certain day, you're going to set aside to writing. If you're going to give yourself 2 months, you have to set a plan in place so that you can be consistent, you can be connected, and you can stay confident. The 3 C's. You need to even you can put it on a note, on a little note, sticky note on your mirror, in your car, places you're always going to be. That will remind you of the 3 C's: confidence, connection, and consistency. Next, I'll share with you about how to target your audience. So I'll give you an example. When I knew it was time to write a children's book, how did I know that it was time to write a children's book? How did I know that children would be my audience? It was just a time I was hearing about bullying. My children's book is about bullying. I was hearing parents talk about it. I was hearing children talk about it. And how about I had kids around me hearing stories about bullying. Some overcame it and some struggled with it. So I knew who was my target audience. It was children that dealt with bullying. The message was for parents that had children dealing with bullying, them accepting and knowing what they needed to do to help their child. So I knew my audience. You must identify who your audience is. Going to make it so smooth, because guess what? When your book is finished and it's completed and it's time to put your boots to the ground, you need to know who's going to know about this book. Would you go to schools? Would you go to Children's Summit? Would you tell children's church leaders about your book? See, once you identify who's your audience, then it will direct you after the book is completed. Where are you going to go? Will you go to the library and volunteer your time to talk about your book? I'm telling you, I'm getting excited just telling you about it. I'm so excited because one day I was right where you were as an upcoming author, where something that was once just a thought and an idea, that it was about to come to pass. Next, I will share with you about discovering your goal, short-term, long-term goal to start and to finish. When are you going to get started? And it's even okay. If you made up your mind, you identify your gift, you know you're ready to get started. If you're working on a project and you realize that you need to finish something else and get started at the beginning of the year, it's okay. It's just all about getting started. That's the important factor. Setting a short-term goal, if it's 3 months, if it's next week, whenever that time is pressing the start button. And even if you give yourself this time next year, it's not a bad thing, because you want to make sure that you every point, every factor, you've done your research, you know where you're going, you know how you're going to brand it, how you're going to market it, how you're going to budget. It does take time. See, the thing about when you take your time, you make sure it's right, and you do it in a spirit of excellency, then that way you know you won't have to turn back. You won't have to go back. You're going all the way forward. And you know it's no looking back, because you've dotted all the I's and you crossed all the T's. There's some things I was able to finish soon, quick. And there were some things it took time. I can give you a key point as an author. There's times I was like, okay, Sunday is my time. I'm going to write. I would sit there and it just wasn't the right time. I can also share with you, if there was something that I was going to write about, there's times I actually went through something. I experienced it before I wrote it. There was times I was going to write about something and someone would call me and share something with me, maybe something they were going through, and it helped me to finish it and didn't have to wonder what I'm going to write next. Look, I couldn't even put the pen down. Even sometime in the middle of the night, I had to keep a notepad and a pen by my bed, because in the middle of the night, I'll have a dream, or I'll wake up with an idea. And before you know it, about 10 pages have been written. A whole chapter was written. So it's all about the timing, and it's nothing that you can rush. One of the other things, it was some things I was so excited, I wanted to share. I could not share. At one point, I found myself telling the book before anyone could even read it. So there's some things I had to just keep it to myself. And when it was finished and I shared it, it was just so exciting. I just could burst when I had opportunities at art events, to speak at events, to share. When I was on interviews, there's time I had interviews on the radio, podcast, opportunities being magazine. I could not wait to share. And I was able to share and share with confidence. This wasn't somebody else's story. that I heard. This wasn't somebody else's journey that I was told about. This was my own personal journey. And I was able to be transparent. And when I tell you, it touched so many hearts. Before I could finish another book, another idea came. Then there was times I took a pause, and it was time in between the next book. I had to give the other one time to grow. But when you become an author, the plan, when you identify those 3 C's and you keep those 3 C's in mind, confidence, connection, and consistency, you're gonna stay on the right track. And before you know it, you will become the next best-selling author. Before I finish my presentation, I would like to share a testimony with you. On last year, I had the opportunity to be a part of a writer's boot camp. Yes, that's right. There are writers boot camp. It was so exciting. It was challenging. I had 4 weeks to start a book and finish a book. I actually was able to finish a book. The name of the book is Champions Get Coached. It was challenging. It was just like boot camp. I had to get my book cover. I had to know what colors. All of that played a factor with, and look, the book cover was the most important. That was the most exciting because I had to do something. One of the strategies I gave you, I had to do it myself. With the book name, Champions Get Coached, who was my audience? So that means the colors. I had to keep that in mind. If I was speaking to ladies, maybe I would go with a pink or purple, something more for ladies. If I was going with just men, then I would think of something a little more masculine. But I had to go with something in between because through that discovery of Champions Getting Coached, I came across women that were coaches and I came across men that were coaches. So I wanted to reach all coaches. There were only life coaches. It was financial coaches, liberating coaches. It was so many different coaches. So I had to speak to a people. So I had to make sure my colors were in line with both genders. And look, it was so exciting. And guess what? My first idea, the one that was over the boot camp, she told me it wasn't the best idea, that I need to go back and look at it. It was a slight disappointing at first, but I was so happy that even through that challenge, it challenged me to dig deeper into my project, making sure that I was going to hit bullseye, making sure that it was going to be perfect, it was going to be complete, and it was going to reach my goal to both genders. And when I went back and I presented my book cover, I got a number 5. I was so excited. I felt like a kid. I was so excited. And off to the next part, getting my bio together, my picture, my acknowledgement, my chapters, what size of the book. All of that was done and completed in 4 weeks. I share that with you because if I can do it, you can do it. Come on, let's enjoy the author